Hello, Record87, and welcome back to Rule the Waves 3, where we are continuing our funsies as Spain. And the first job on the list today is to get ourselves a new Spanish fleet carrier as we try and rebuild our forces after our disagreements with the French. And I did put up a rough idea of what we might go for last time, and I did get one comment back from St. Mac who said, why not have a look at the good old Essex class? Good old CV09 as a bit of an example as to what we might be aiming for. So I always love an excuse to go and dig through Jane's, and I did build ourselves what the Essex class looks like in game, and here she is. Now there was a little bit of disagreement on her total fully laden displacement between a couple of sources, so I've gone for the larger value I could find. Just because, well, she's well over what we can build tech-wise, so I put it in anyway. Her kind of unladen, everyone agreed, was like 27,000 tons, but people argued about what the full displacement was. Anyway, I've gone for the bigger number because it makes, because it was as close to a valid design as you could get, and we're still nowhere close. She has a very commendable 33 knots of speed, which is, yeah, I'd love to have that. Not where we're going to end up. In terms of, let's go for armament. So she had 12 5-inch caliber guns when we started. Some later Essex class dropped that down to 10. They also had a bunch of 40mm and 20mm AA guns, yeah, spread across it. So we'll probably go down for a smaller caliber main gun and probably heavier on the kind of AA emplacements. In terms of armor, shall we start with that? So it had a 1.5 inches of flight deck armor. It then had 3 inches of hangar deck armor, which I've put in here, and 1.5 inches of upper deck, which I'm going to put in this deck extended, as well as it says between 2 and 3 inches of belt armor and midship. So I've just split it in the middle. I'm going for 2.5. And then, of course, the all important air capacity. And we're going for the classic 90 plane loadout. So it gives you a wing of 36 Wildcat fighters, your 36 Dauntless dive bombers, and your 18 Avenger torpedo bombers. So I love a little capable CV, of course, and one which was nowhere close to being a valid design for us. 3,000 tons difference between what we need to fit all this stuff in and what we can fit all this stuff in. So yeah, it was nice. Although interesting to start some thoughts around the armor. I'm not sure 1.5 inches of deck armor is really going to do much for you once people start kind of throwing 500-pound bombs around the place. So it was nice, but not necessarily where we are going to end up. So let me just close this because I did want to check in on the aircraft types, and we can have a look at current dive bombers that are on the go. And really I want to look at what kind of bombs are people carrying. So we are already up to 1,000-pound bombs. The older German stuff, 4 years old, is carrying 600-pound bombs, so we can probably presume everyone is in the same kind of range. So they're kind of at 600 up to 1,000, and probably people are going to get 1,000-pound bombs fairly soon. Now there is a tech which comes in, I think it's kind of early 40s, 42, something like that, which gives you an improved armor penetrations of bombs. And really, once that tech's up and running, the general consensus seems to be that armor's not going to do too much for you on your aircraft carriers. So some use against the smaller bombs currently, as I think you need something like, is it 2.5 inches of armor to stop the 1,000-pound bombs at the minute. There's no hard and fast data on it. This is all kind of colloquial stuff that's come from, or anecdotal stuff I should say. It's come from message boards and things. A lot of it is also based on real waves too, but that seemed to be the general consensus of like kind of 2 inches for 500-pound bombs. I think it was 2.5 for 1,000, something like that. And then once you with the AP tech, you're then really struggling, and generally speaking, you're going to want more planes and more AA just to stop the bombs coming in. So yes, I do want to see, because I was conscious whether we had with small ones. Now, it still might be worthwhile to actually have a couple of inches to protect against maybe some of the lighter bombs. People aren't always going to be out in the heaviest bomb load. Sometimes you'll get fighters who also have like little bomblets they can drop. So it's not saying it's completely worthless at this stage, but certainly we would struggle, I think, to defend ourselves, or armor ourselves against our own dive bombers. So on that, let us build ourselves, having whittered a little bit, design ship, that's what I'm looking for. Let's design ourselves our new fleet carrier. We'll talk about what armor we're going to put where. Now this, I just want to get a design I like, a picture I like, and I like that picture. I think that's okay. As I said before, I think we're going to go for 4-inch guns. That's probably too many. In fact, let's re-roll this one until it has the right number of turrets in the right number of places. That's probably still a little bit too many. You really are just going to give me that number of turrets, aren't you? I suppose we could just delete some. Okay, and that graphic's okay. Why don't we get rid of these 2 wing ones here? Which I think are... Oh, I don't know, this one maybe? And that one? Yeah, there we go. That's a bit lopsided, but fine. Oh, 4 inches, please. Absolutely dual purpose. Okay, speed, I think we're going to end up about 28 knots. I have played around just with tonnage and what we get bang for a buck, because I want to try to aim for something around 30,000 ton displacement. Partly I just want to keep the cost something kind of we can afford approximately. So that's just over the 3 million a month balance we've got. But that's what I'm kind of aiming for as a bit of a target. So I had in my head about maybe 3,000 tons. Okay, let's talk armor then. We can come back to bits and pieces. So we've got flight deck armor, which is obviously this is the first flight deck, and that's your first defense against any incoming shells or bomblets. Once you go through the flight deck, it then kind of gets into your hangar, and then you can have your deck armor, and that then protects the kind of inner workings of your ship. So there's ways you can say, well, you could have a completely unarmored flight deck. You know, it's made of wood or whatever, and put a whole bunch of armor on our deck to protect the inner workings of our ship. That's theoretically fine, and there certainly were aircraft carriers like this. The risk being, of course, that once it punches through your deck and you have planes, etc., waiting below, you can then get a big fire and that can burn you out. So that's maybe not the greatest. Similarly, you could say, well, let's throw everything into our flight deck, albeit that it is heavier to, yeah, it takes more weight to armor the flight deck than it does to armor the deck. And you say, well, that's going to protect us a lot more from any actual penetrations, but if anything gets through there, well, it's going to go all the way through our ship and cause lots of problems. So that's the kind of thing you got to play with. Now, ideally, maybe you'd have a little bit of armor of both, but I think having, if you were saying we wanted 3 inches of total armor, then having 3 inches in one, I feel is a better design than having 1.5 inches in both, which isn't really going to stop much of anything. So those are the thoughts. Where are we going to end up? I think we are probably going to end up having some deck armor, but no flight deck armor. And we're probably going to be around about that 90 capacity as well. I was playing around with weights and things. Having a couple inches built armor, I think, is fine. It's, you know, I feel like it's almost like a psychological comfort to say, well, look, I've put some belt armor in, even though realistically nothing should be firing to hit my belt armor, and 2 inches isn't going to stop very much. I suppose maybe there's a chance a destroyer might get close, or a cruiser might get close enough to get a shot off. Although if it's a cruiser, it's probably got an armament that's going to punch through 2 inches. But anyway, we're going to end up with that just for argument's sake. Let's finish putting in our AA positions. So if we're going to keep with the 12 turrets there, or 12 barrels of 4-inch guns, which I think is fine, let's then load up our medium AAs. So, we get quite a lot in here actually. And then a light, one light gun, just for argument's sake. Okay, speed of evidence 3 I do want. We haven't got unit machinery, which... Again, we're kind of trying to set ourselves up so we shouldn't get hit, but I mean, eventually bombs are going to come through this thing. That would only leave us 625 tons, which I think we could probably scrape in, what, an extra plane or 2, or 3 or 4. Okay, so we could end up with this. It does make me a little bit nervous having no flight deck armor at all, and that's something I'd definitely look to want to add to our later planes, and we're very much reliant on the likes of not being caught with a full deck or even a full hangar, and a good damage control for defending against our bomb impacts. Alternatively, if we say we want to try and get us up to say 3 inches, that would be another 500, and we could bring this down back down to 90. Oh, that is tempting. It does give us a little bit more protection in the deck, that is. So the whole ship might be a little bit more survivable, but she's definitely going to be out of action once she takes some bomb hits. I'm gonna go for that. I would like more planes, but let's stick with the classic 90 loadout. Reasonable amounts of AA everywhere. I'm gonna have to peel some of these off. Let's do that. That'll have to do. In fact, I can peel one off and stick 2 of those on. Yeah, my leaves 117 tons left, which is okay because planes get heavier as tech goes on, so that should be fine. Or if we want to retrofit in some catapults, exactly, that's another good use of that weight. And that's alright. I think that's where she's going to be. Good torpedo defense, okay defense against bombs, but you know it's going to trash our flight deck and trash our hangar if we get hit. But I think that's just what we've got to give up to make this work. We're not in a position where we can afford everything we want. In terms of names, so the suggestion came in was to use some Greek mythological names, which I like the idea of. But there was one I want to use which wasn't suggested. So I like the theme. So we are going to go for. I just want to check my spelling. Chrysor. Who's perhaps a lesser known character from Greek mythology, and that is another winged horse, and is the brother of Pegasus. That's where that name comes from. I don't know which myths it particularly appears in. I came across it and it's stuck in my head for some reason, so we're going to go with that name. Excellent. So we have our own fleet carrier. Beautiful. Alright, let's lock it in. It's going to cost us 3,192. It's a little bit over our monthly balance, but perfectly manageable. And essentially we're going to try and get 2 of these in a row. Or if I forgot about that. We'll have to do that in a minute. If we, what was I going to say? Get some increases to our budget. We went with 4 a second as well. That threw me for a loop. Okay, so we can't do that. So either we got to find some weight for some bell armor, bring our deck armor down. We could probably do 2.5 inch each, or what? So I could bring that down to 2.5. Well, we could just do that, couldn't we? That works. Maybe not ideal, but it works. Yeah. We can make it really thin, but I don't want thin deck armor, so it doesn't really help me. Okay, fine, and then I could maybe throw an extra plane on. 2 planes on? 92 planes. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm less happy having lost 1/2 inch of deck armor. But I guess we will have to make sure she just doesn't get hit. And for some reason that's messed up my topsides equipment. Huzzah! Perfect. 5 million, very expensive, but let's go for it. Okay. That's all the money we had, but we'll build up a little bit of a balance over a couple of months as we wait for the design to come in. Austrian government is going to buy some armour development, by all means. And, oh, that does remind me. Well, actually, we'll wait until we lay down the ship before we look at tech. Parliament votes to reduce naval spending. Oh, come on. You're killing me. Delegation from major dockyards complaining that without new contracts, we risk having to reduce capacity. Alright, we're going to get that going in a minute. Keeping 25% of total capacity busy. Oh. That's like 45,000 tons? I'm not sure we're going to get that going. Germany's going to sell us electric elevation and training. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Rate of fire improvement. Won't complain. Industrial production soar. Excellent. A little bit more money. Austrian heavy cruiser. Oh, interesting going for the 8 inches there on the heavy cruiser. Good AA on it though. I'll give it that regard. £1,000 bombs with a Legion bomber. The Construcciones Aeronauticas. I don't know why I put Italian accent on. But anyway, they want to ask if we support their participation in the air race. Absolutely. I'm Italian swine. That's because I boosted their hopes with a terrible accent. Private dive bomber adventure. What have you got for us? The HA-113. £1,000 bombs. A little lower on the mediums, but it's fine. I tend to go on the heavy range anyway. Although heavy range is reduced slightly. Medium range is reduced slightly. Okay, range down. Firepower, a lot more firepower. A lot more maneuverable. A little bit tougher. I mean, I'd be tempted to keep the current one, but it's a bit rubbish in terms of reliability. So I'll happily. I don't think there's too much between this. It's a little bit lower ranges, but also it's not that big a deal. So I say let's take this one and hope that it's got an improved airbase capacity. Okay, we've improved our base expansion in the Philippines. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned this on episode or not, so I'll quickly mention it again, because we were looking at expanding the Philippines with the hope to use it as a base we could do refits in. And I think 200 was the lower mark you had for that. However, when I've gone back over and read the patch notes, what it actually says, it's still got to be home territory and have a base limit of I think it's 200. So essentially all that means is that it's the Russia, Far East and the west coast of America can become places for refits by the US and by Russia. You can't do overseas, which I think really do think they're missing out there, because I think given enough high cost and time, why wouldn't you want to build up a naval base capable of refits? I mean, I get sure not dry docks for like laying down your ships, but you know, why would I want to bring everyone home to Spain if I just need to put them in for a service or whatever? So anyway, I'm gonna happily and routinely get on a soapbox about that and maybe think about impacting it, or sorry, adding it to a future game. Might change the balance and things, but I think so from a realism perspective, it makes a lot of sense. Okay, fighter in operational service, beautiful. And Chris is ready for construction. We got the rate of fire one, but that should be applied anyway. I think we're just going to go to the build screen. And yeah, we're just going to lay down one, and it's going to be called Chrisor. Ta-da! Excellent. 26 months. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Have we still got the terrible shipbuilding? No, maybe. Okay, no, maybe we don't actually. So we used to have the I forgot what it's called now. Undeveloped shipbuilding industry, where it costs you an extra 10% on your duration of your builds, but that appears to be gone, so that's good. Okay, we do need to have a quick check of our research, because we're probably focused on things that aren't necessarily that important. Although, having said that, if we're going to lay down another carrier straight after this, it's probably still fine, and then we can kind of pivot away from this very focused one we've got. Although we have got the improved carrier design, which was key, and we did get. Was it just the dive bombers after it? I can't remember. But I think armor and machinery, the hull, that's all good, because that'll just all do a little help. Little bits of help, I should say. Yeah, let's just keep this fun focused for the next couple of years. And then we can move things around. Okay. Good. Volume 1 check was on our aircraft. And is it in here? I wanted to look at what our production rate was. And I have to work out where I actually find it. Okay, there are spare ones bombing around. We've got you currently in service, yes. So let's get rid of you. We have one of everything. Good. I'm going to have to go and find out where I find this information. Hang on, give me a moment. Okay, so I found it, but not in a certain way. So you'll, for those observant amongst you, have noticed that all of a sudden we've become Germany in 1935. and that's because I have just jumped into a brand new start and just auto-generate all this stuff, because I read the patch notes where it came out and it said it had added a column, and indeed it has, in the aircraft types, which shows you the number of aircraft delivered in the last month of production. So that shows you the rate at which these are being produced. Unfortunately, in our game, this doesn't exist. So I suspect it's because we started this game so long ago that for whatever reason it hasn't retrofitted this in the updates. So we are not going to be able to see that, unfortunately. But if you are playing, that is where you find it, and you can see how much you're producing in compared to your losses. So let me just jump back to our actual game, and here we are. And as you can see, if I open up the aircraft type, oh no, it has turned up this time. Oh, that is interesting. Oh, I wonder if maybe just because I'll admit, the only game I've been playing through this in Spain, I haven't had time to do my own runs and other stuff. So I wonder if I've just having forced it through a new game is enough to have remembered it here. Although it says we're currently producing 0, which is interesting. It may just be we don't need any, and that may be true. So I'll have to have a look when. Well, actually, this one should start to fill in. So let's maybe go for a month, and we'll come back and see what that says. Maybe going to prompt some interesting changes. Right, let's advance the turn. A new British CL, the Falmouth. Yeah, that's pretty tasty. 6-inch dual purpose. Okay, that could do horrible things to lots of my fleet. And the Messerschmitt has entered service. Okay, now if we go back to aircraft types, yeah, there we go. It's even got right numbers. Excellent. Alright, I'm glad I went digging for that. So yeah, we're producing 9 fighters a month, a couple of dive bombers, and a couple of naval patrol aircraft. Not producing any mediums, and I guess it's because we just don't need them. Our torpedo bomber is poor reliability, actually. That's not great. In fact, so's a dive bomber as well. We need better planes. Why don't I actually go hunting for another torpedo bomber then? Again, I didn't need to do that drop down, I do it all the time. Just maybe see if we can get one which is a bit more reliable. As ever with torpedo bombers, well, I don't actually worry about bomb load. I usually like to go for range, so we have a good kind of strike distance, and I usually like to go for toughness so they don't get shot down. Okie dokie. One of our cruisers has run aground on shore of a minor nation, and they're going to impound the ship. We will demand they release the ship and send a strong squadron to underline the point. Let's bump those prestige numbers up a little bit, shall we? We are, of course, allied with Germany, so I'm not too frightened of anyone. Although, what are the other kind of alliance blocks? So Japan is allied to America and Britain. That's pretty chunky, and that's it. Okay, so don't go to war with Japan. Apart from that, it's fine. And it might be tricky, actually, if we went to war with Britain, because Japan would do lots of annoying things. Although I don't think they could actually steal any land, because they're hemmed in their home provinces, so that's okay. We'd lose VPs because they dominate the seas, etc, etc. I think that's fine. Some advances. Oh, excellent, catapults. That's good, that's really good actually. So we'll definitely do some retrofitting there. The Hinkle has come in service. I think we just keep advancing time at this rate. A spy. Yeah, we'll denounce Austria-Hungary. Not too interested in the war, but more tension is more money. Development of our new dive bombers delayed. Okay, that tension has nicely put us in the black. Germany's going to sell us ship design bulbous bow. Oh, okay. Which presumably will be weight savings. Reduces engine horsepower requirements, which translates into, well, I suppose weight savings or faster ships. Okay, so I think we're pushing our luck a little bit on some of this two-phase search, etc. I think we looked at this previously about researching tech years ahead of time causes problems. So you can't go, you can't beeline for like 1950s tech in 1940. Germany's going to offer us damage control. I would absolutely love damage control. Thank you very much. Armor quality. This is good. Yeah. Okay. Fine. We'll change that then. China wants to buy a medium bomber. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I read that as absolutely rather than absolutely not. Why not? Yes, please go buy our plane. Okay, so let's look at our research then. So I guess it's this one is probably the next one is a two-phase search pattern. In fact, I can go and do a little bit of double checking. Which will be very interesting for you as I look at a thing off the screen. Where am I? Navigation heavy air. Night air operations. Okay. Actually, two-phase search is under shipboard aircraft operations, so it's this one. And isn't it? Well, certainly from, again, this is old data I'm looking at, because it's Waves 2. Okay, so we may want to turn this one down, because we've just got flight deck capsules, which is fair was a 36 technology, but I think we're running at 80% tech levels. So let's put you down to medium, say. And we'll accept that, and let's start increasing some of the others. What are we going to do next? Well, actually, we do need more capital ships to retire our Malaga and our Madrid. So that's probably where we're going to go next. What do they particularly need? Not much. We probably have all the tech we need to build them. In general, things we want to improve. Well, let's work on things like our AP projectiles. We can bring them up to a little bit to medium, and I think that's fine. I could have just left it medium, but I'm trying to balance it out for reasons. Shipyards are closing and workers laid off due to low orders from new dock size reduced. Oh, that's rough. I thought it was just going to be capacity. Oh, we've got some improved amphibious operations. Excellent. Okay, so we're down to 40,000, which honestly I think is fine. I'm not sure we're really going to be able to support your kind of 50,000 ton mega ships, as fun as they are. Yeah, alliance between USA and Japan's expired. We have new bomber. Again, we have no idea what the reliability is going to be, so something which is comparable to us. And oh, actually, now this is a big change. These two aircraft here are capable of carrying a torpedo on medium bomb load, which means that their range is jumping from 220 to 260 or 360. That's a huge range increase. Ooh, oh, I like that. Not quite as tough, not quite as maneuverable, but that's an extra 100 nautical miles there. I think it's got to be. Okay. Is there anything else we want to replace then? When were dive bombers done? Again, only a couple of years ago, actually same year as our torpedo bombers, but again, poor reliability. I'm happy to at least spin the dice and see what we get. Every time. I don't need to do it, and yet I do. Okay, what do dive bombers want to do? Well, we're already up to 1,000-pound bombs, so I don't feel like I need to prioritize it. Your range kind of sucks. Oh no, we've got a new dive bomber on the go. Hang on. Cancel this. We've got a new dive bomber here, and we don't know its reliability, so let's not dive into another one. That would be silly of me. Okay, we could do another float plane scout. It's been a while. We didn't get much of our improvement last time. Really, you just want to go far, and that's kind of it, really. But I suppose toughness, don't get shot down. Japan's going to buy some armor rights. Have at it. Not looking to tangle with Japan anytime soon. Prime Minister expressed concerns that our forces in the Mediterranean are insufficient considering the threat from Italy. Ha! What a threat. Okey-doke. And we've stolen 17-inch quality zero guns from the French. Nice. And the float plane scout from the British. Okay. Ooh, radar and electronics. Right, that's going to get prioritized. Where are you? Here. Yes. Hi. Good. Radar is very important. What else happened there? Oh, yes, we need to move ships into the Mediterranean. So we have most of our fleet kicking about in Northern Europe. Who should we shuffle down? Do we have everyone essentially in Northern Europe? We do. I mean, we'll move them and then they'll complain. Let's just move the ones who are active. I don't think there's that many. In fact, it's just you two. Go down to the Med. I'm not sure that'll be enough on your own, to be honest. Oh, my corvettes are all obsolete. Which means I should probably go and change them around. I also need to refit the Plutons and the Lazaga. So what I'll do is I'm going to move you down to the Med, and then I'll put you in for refit. At least that way I've technically got a bit of a screen for my battleships as they move around. And okay, I need to find myself 4 corvettes of these ones. I only have 3. I will make do with 3. Alright, 3 of you go to the Caribbean and we'll get those guys swapped out. And we'll go from there. In fact, can I put you on foreign stations? Yeah, because I don't really care where you are in the world, to be honest. I'll do that and then I can get these guys to refit straight away. Sorry, open design for rebuild, because I just want to do liquor paint. I don't really care about anything else. Oh, didn't need to do that. I'm not even bothered really about upgrading their guns, so we'll just do that. Yeah, it's fine. These are here to be cheap, to be honest, not much else. Okay. Battleship Scare. The rising threat mainly persuades Parliament to authorize additional funding. Awesome. The Minister of Navy feels that it is a pity that such a fine officer as Control Admirant Montojo is without a seagoing command. He suggests that he put in command of a first battle division currently commanded by Halcyon. Absolutely not. He's performing a vital duty in the coal lighter and laundry barge administration. I will happily spend prestige to get a below average person out of my way. Oxygen fuel torpedoes. Not one I tend to mess around with because we often blow up on my own ships. My new dive bomber. Let's have a look. Do we know about you yet? We don't know about you yet. Okie doke. You are poor, so I will obsolete you. Let us go to... So are we over the requirements here? Well, it's difficult to tell because I've got some stuff in reserve. I suspect we are. If not, we'll get shouted at. But I do want to come into my ships here, and so we can refit a lot of destroyers here. I probably will give them more powerful guns and install the DP. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of cost, but I think that's fine. Ooh, the weight's not pleasurable. I'm not sure you've got much I can really steal from. I might just have to accept they're slightly overweight. Considerably overweight, are they? 20 tons. It's like 3%. Oh, and fire control. Yeah, you've got rubbish fire control, actually. Okay, that would be like 50 tons. Now that's an actual number. Just for a couple of 4-inch dual purpose guns, which might HA factor of 2. Okay, it doesn't really feel it's necessarily worth it, does it? Alright. Let's do this again. Open design for rebuild. You're already at minus 15 tons. So if we do the better quality, you stay at minus 15 tons. So there's no real weight cost to that. And then maybe we just leave these as you are. Okie doke. Yeah, we accept these are just not the greatest ships in the world. But that's why we have our other destroyers. I And you need refit as well. Do I have quality 1 5-inch yet? I do. Can you full dual purpose? Maybe. That's like 1%. 1.5%. I feel like 1.5% over is okay. I could also peel these off. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, you've also got secondary guns as well. In fact, why don't we get rid of those? And oh, yeah, because I'd actually no, let's not do that because I don't care about your own protection. I'd rather you had more HE. Not that you've got a lot, but it's something. Yeah, good. No, that's fine. There's only one of you. Not going to be much of a difference. Beautiful. Okay, Great Britain is no longer allied with Japan. So now we can absolutely attack Japan if we wanted to, but we don't. So you've just given me a private one, and I'm sure I've got people out for this, I do. How do you compare? Yeah, look, I don't know how come this plane was so good. I mean, okay, you're going faster. But I mean, your cruise speeds, this one you spend most of your time at, is not much quicker. I suppose your range is, you are theoretically ever so slightly better. I'm just going to say no for just now, and we'll see what actual responses we get are. Major arms firm wants to sell ships to a South American country. Absolutely. I'll allow it. Relations between Italy and Austria-Hungary tens. Oh, I like the sound of that. Improves range for cruisers, that's nice. So, oh, I don't think we've seen an AI war yet. Oh, I'd like that to kick off. That would be good. Okay, keep going. First 3 corvettes done. We could improve relations with Italy. Absolutely not. Yeah, and that's not going to raise tensions, so just going to give me prestige. Float planes, what we got? Again, we'll look for range is... Okay, bit of improvement. Speed is a little bit of an improvement. Slightly less maneuverable. Okay, so I think this is just better. A little bit better, a little bit more range and stuff. So we'll go with you. And our destroyer is back. Okay, good. Enables building of more motor torpedo boats in invaded positions if an AMC is present. Okie doke. Don't tend to use those very often. And our new torpedo bomber is in service. Okay, let's have a look at what I'm looking at. Oh, my corvettes that came out of refit. So let's do it by location because they're going to be in the Mediterranean somewhere. Here they are. No, that's Caribbean. Oh, maybe they went to Northern Europe. Yep, here we go. You guys are going to head back out to Caribbean. Huzzah. And then we can do a next batch. Not with the Baltic, we'll have to do in pairs. Actually, no, what we can do is we can do 2 from West Africa. And just to rebuild ship to that design. And 1 from the Baltic. And then we'll get the other 3 done afterwards. And we've got 3 on foreign station duty to cover for that. Excellent. Oh, Britain's getting radar. Dangerous. Dangerous. No, go away. I know what I'm doing. After a naval visit by Japan, you're asked in German to comment on their visiting ships. You usually say they look good. Rust buskers and definitely trained soldiers and indolent officers are no match for our navy. I don't really have any beef with the Japanese, but more prestige and a little bit of tension is fine. Yeah, didn't really move the needle. Certainly didn't want to lose prestige on something like that. Internal upheaval in North Korea. Japan is sending a force there to restore order. They likely have far more reaching plans. What do we recommend? I don't really care if they take over North Korea, to be honest. Northeast Asia is not an area of the map that I'm particularly involved in. And they were a decent ally, so you know what? I should probably do some kind of ultimatum thing, but go and have it. I don't really care. Ooh, electro-optical director. That would be nice, but no luck so far. Better HA. I like it. Dope. Things are going all right. How long we got left in our CV? Only 7 months. Oh, maybe we'll see if we can get to that before the end of the episode. Again, we're going to reduce capacity again, which kind of sucks, but I'm not sure there's much we can do about that. We're doing what we can. A French torpedo bomber, a French light cruiser. Yeah, again, everyone's building lovely ships that I'm not. British light cruiser. Yeah, again, pretty good looking. Oh, and you've given me a naval patrol aircraft. Couple of £1,000 bombs, better ranges, huge firepower. Sure, why not? Saves me doing a search for it. Okay, let's keep going. 2 ships finished working up. Great Britain suggests a mutual reduction in naval spending to reduce tension. Well, we could just very quickly be thrown into war with Britain. We would have Germany on our side. Might be a bit fun. I guess. I mean, it's going to be challenging. What's Britain got? Okay, 5 battleships, 3 battlecruisers, 6 fleet carriers, 8 light carriers, 23 heavy cruisers, and 18 light cruisers. That's a lot of ships. Yeah, they've got 1 million tons. Blimey, our navy is small. I mean, their budget's massive. Interesting. 120 destroyers. Okay. I don't know. I'm torn between just saying, stick it to you, and doing an international arms conference, because they're fun. My concern is they put a limit on tonnage, and our CV gets scrapped with like 5 months to go. So I can't risk it. So let's be bullish and hope we are don't pay for our hubris. Well, Italy and America are high tensions. Okie doke. Better AP penetration. Nice. Ooh. Okay. Still some headroom. How long we got? 5 months. Prime Minister is annoyed about forces in Northern Europe are too weak to deter Great Britain. Okay. I'll move things to Northern Europe. I can only do so much with what I've got. Alright, German fleet carrier, 90 aircraft. A little bit faster, a little bit heavier. A few more AA guns. And they've gone for a slightly thicker deck. Okay. A British bomber, Japanese bomber. Torpedo bomber. What's the improvement? You carry a bigger bomb. Your range is slightly better. Oh, it's slightly tougher. Okay, that does look like an improvement. Thank you very much. Okay, who have we got as active in Mediterranean? Please move back to Northern Europe. Did we finish with our corvettes in Europe? We did. So you guys are going to go out to West Africa. You are going to go out to the Baltic. And you 3 are going to come in for a refit. Anybody else going obsolete? No. Okie dokie. War! Cool. First time we've seen it. That's good to see. With a scandal involving dignitaries from USA. I mean, this cost me anything? No, just... That's fine. I don't need more tension with the USA. I've got quite a lot of tension with a few people. Let's not pick a fight with America just yet. Improves dive bomber performance. Interesting. Now, I wonder if that's improved performance of an existing aircraft or just better stats on ones which will turn out. Oh, and look, our dive bomber seems to have good reliability. That is excellent. So now we have average reliability on our torpedo bomber and good reliability on our dive bomber. So we can get rid of you. You're now obsolete. You are now obsolete, although you're not quite finished development. Which one's fine. And I don't have to think about it again. Beautiful. Okay, float plane into service. And an engagement between Austria and Italy. As I read that as CV. The AV Agatha has been sunk. And Italy has also lost an AV. Okay, that seems fun. Austria lost a light cruiser and a couple of destroyers. Alright. This is good, whittling away our enemies. Not that they're really our enemies, I'm not so bothered by the Eastern Med. Battleship scare. Okay, more money, thank you very much, I approve of that. And Chinese medium bomber. Okie doke. And here we go, fighting continues. Austria loses a destroyer over Klagenfurt. And Italy has lost a heavy cruiser with Giulio Cesare and a destroyer. So it seems very even so far. Italy loses a few more. Another seaplane tender lost by Austro-Hungary. Well, I quite like this AI war thing. They're fairly evenly matched. I wonder who will come out ahead. I imagine Albania here will be a hot topic of contention. Hey, I'm a CV. The Chrysler has been commissioned into the Navy. Beautiful. A disarmament conference is being held in The Hague now. Now this is interesting, but we tend to get fairly badly hammered when these things come along because our fleet's not particularly big. They can be fun. Who's building a lot of stuff? You're a battleship, a battleship, a battleship. It's not much though, is it? You've got a couple of CVLs, you've got CV, but you're actually on our side at the minute. That's a good way to scrap some. We do have some older stuff we want to scrap, like those Malaga things. But I also would like to lay down probably one, if not maybe even two fleet carriers we could probably get away with. So we've done a couple of disarmament. Let's be bullish on this. Let's say no. That might throw us into war. Okay, let's go middle of the road. Keep up appearances, but let's not agree to anything. Oh yeah, because the war's already in progress. Conference ends. Good. Fine. Okay, still struggling with a few bits and bobs. And we get improved dive bomber. What's improved about you? Just a little bit more firepower. I think that seems to be about it. Okie doke, I'll take it. And a new fighter. I like all this private venture stuff. Faster, further, more maneuverable, much more firepower, slightly less tough. I think definitely improvement. Light cruiser and a destroyer lost to Austria. Italy loses a couple of destroyers. Okie doke. Right, so there we are. We've now got 5.5 million monthly ballast. I think we're probably going to lay down a couple new CVs, so that'll bring us up to 3 fleet carriers. I think at that point we'll then switch back over to battleships. But I think a complement of 3 fleet carriers is a pretty good place for us, and that is probably where we're going to stay for a while. Germany's going to have 5, Great Britain's got 6. America's only got 2. That's slightly surprising. They'll probably expand. You know, I don't think we're maybe going to be able to afford to keep much more than that, at least not in the short term. Not until we have our next war. So it's good. Grand. Alright, we'll bring things to a close there, and we'll catch up next time. Once again, we're going to be designing ourselves a new CV. So I'll see you in. Cheerio.